Hey everybody, Natasha here with Big Rock Organics, and welcome to week 3 of the CSA. We are definitely moving into some different vegetables this week, some of the summer flavors, but let's revisit everything that you've got in the box and I'll give you some great ideas and suggestions. So we do have spinach. We moved on to a new crop of spinach this week. We did have some interesting things with some of the heavy heat and wind that we've had lately. We've had some sun scorching on the plants and things like that, which has been a little crazy to see. So if you see a little funkiness on some of the leaves, forgive that. That is just nature at its finest. But we've got a new crop of spinach here. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the different greens and things like that, a really simple thing to do is to just saute the greens. They'll cook down, and then take them and just put them like spoonfuls on a baking sheet, then put that baking sheet in the freezer. Now you're gonna have like individual portions of cooked greens, and then you can just take that out of the freezer whenever you want to use it in an omelet or something like that, and you just literally just take the frozen greens and you can add them to different things. Also, if you're doing smoothies and things like that, you can also take and make them into a smoothie. Add all your favorite things. Banana will cover the flavor of just about anything. That's also a good way to get some of these greens in. Actually, one of our volunteers said that they do that as a dessert, and they'll do like blueberries and things like that to make it sweet. And so that's a really great way with this heat to try to sneak some vegetables in that you don't normally use. So those are just a couple of ideas for using some of the cooking greens like the spinach and the kale, because trust me, you can take a little glob of cooked spinach or kale and you can add it to soup in the winter time. You can take and put it into pastas and things like that. And that frozen spinach is so easy. Just use it frozen and chop it with some scissors or a knife and toss it into whatever you want to, an omelet or something like that. So those are just some great ideas, because really spinach cooks down, kale cooks down, Swiss chard cooks down to like just such a little amount. So those are some ideas for you to prolong your greens and to get more use out of them, especially when you might be feeling like, oh, there's just a lot of greens right now. You'll be very happy for them when there isn't greens at some point in the season. So we've got spinach, of course, this week. We do have lettuce, and again, we've started a new plot of both the lettuce and the spinach, so you'll notice it's a little bit different. These lettuces are a little bit more delicate, and they might, we've got a couple different varieties in there. So those are a little bit more delicate. As a reminder, put a paper towel in your bag, maybe one on either side. Just stick the paper towel right in there to help absorb some of the extra moisture. As we've been moving into this really intense summer heat, because we pick everything the day of your delivery, we want it to be super fresh. We want it to be super packed full of nutrients. We also are challenged to get it all picked so that nothing wilts. And so we oftentimes will super chill and wash items just to get them to, not wilt as quickly. And so some of your stuff might be coming washed or a little damp, and it's always helpful to just stick a paper towel in there to absorb the extra water, and that will make it last better. You want a little moisture with storing things, but you don't want too much moisture. So we've got that lettuce again, all that wonderful lettuce. I've had such great comments from everybody, and I love seeing your pictures and your comments and things like that. One of our volunteers was saying that her daughter, who doesn't like lettuce or salads, took a bite and she's like, "Is this from the farm, Mom? This is so good." And I had another member send me a picture of their beautiful salad with balsamic chicken thighs that they marinated. This is Mary. She sent me a beautiful picture of a salad with balsamic marinated chicken, and I think there was some goat cheese or feta cheese, I can't remember, blue cheese, some cheese crumbles, cranberries, candied pecans, and a special dressing on top of there. It just sounds so refreshing. So especially with this heat, getting a nice salad made every day, just go ahead and do it. You'll feel so much more energized, so much healthier. And I love my salads loaded up, so I really enjoy just putting all kinds of stuff on there. Okay, anyways, we gotta get to the fun stuff here, because these are things that you've been used to seeing. We have some more of that kale, the baby kale, and kale chips. If you've not made kale chips, they are so fun. I talked a little bit last week about that. That's a great recipe to use. Also, I just add this to pasta and things like that. I would take the stems off. These kind of have longer stems, and I'm just not a fan of having long stems, but I would snip those stems off, or just a nice fresh salad. I find this has a really just nice even flavor. It's not spicy, it's not bitter, it's just a nice even flavor, so it's a really fun thing in salads as well. Oh, one good recipe I really enjoy making is a kale salad, and you take and just kind of chop up the kale. Sometimes I'll use like the thicker kale. This is so thin that you could probably even just coarsely chop this. Don't, you know, cut it too fine. And then add in tomatoes and peppers and scallions. Also, let's see, oh, we've added tomatillos to it. Any you know, vegetable that you like. Cucumbers are good in there. Avocado's good in there. Well, let's just be real, avocado's good in just about anything. I wish we could grow avocados on our farm. I'd be a happy girl. But you add all your vegetables in there, and then just use an Italian dressing, and the acid in the dressing helps to kind of marinate the kale, and then Parmesan cheese in there. And it's a really good salad the day of, but it's really, really good the next day. And so that's a fun one. If you are, you know, having a party or going somewhere, you can make a kale salad the one day and then take it to your party the next day. Or if you've got leftovers, know that it's gonna be even better the next day. So that's like a marinated kale salad. Your kale, all your veggies, Italian dressing from a bottle, or you can make your own, and then Parmesan cheese. And that one was a recipe that one of our volunteers years ago told me about, and I still make that all the time. Okay, so a couple of new things that we've got. We do have some cool flavors coming in, including peas. Oh, we're so excited about them. So these are all sugar snap peas. These are completely edible, the whole thing. And I just love my colors, of course, and I can never have just one color. So if they offer 3 different colors, I'm going to get them all. So these are all sugar snap, all completely edible. And of course, you know, they're delicious just for snacking. These are one of those little treasures that I don't even know that I need to give you a recipe for. But if you are looking for something yummy, a lot of things in this box this week are really great for Asian inspired cooking. So I would do a stir fry, I would do fried rice. I'll tell you about my fried rice in a minute. So of course we have scallions, and we have cilantro, and we also have Pac Choi. Pac Choi is a great Asian green, and you just cut up the whole thing and add it at the very end of your stir fry or whatnot, and it's great. The greens get cooked a little bit, the stems are a little crunchy. It doesn't really have a ton of flavor, so whatever you want to put with it, you know, whatever sauce, it'll kind of take up that flavor. We did have this underneath a protective agrabah layer, but unfortunately it did get a few little holes in it, so forgive us for that. But it is still very tasty, and when you're cooking that up, you know, you won't even see that. So that is the Pac Choi. Now, if you want to use all of these guys together, you could make a fried rice. You're gonna take, and I'll include a recipe for this one. A fried rice is really simple. You gotta use rice that is old, so you have to have some leftover rice or cook it and wait a day or two. That's really the key. We personally like basmati rice for about everything, but you can use whatever rice you like. You're gonna take your old rice, you're gonna saute butter, put in all your vegetables that you want to. I use, you know, peas, I use carrots, I use peppers, whatever you want. And you're gonna saute that. You can add in a protein if you'd like. Sometimes I'll add scrambled eggs, but I'll scramble them and then I'll add them at the very end. Then my rice, then the sauces go in, fish sauce, soy sauce, oyster sauce, and then cook that all up for a little bit. At the very, very end, you're gonna add your cilantro, your scallions, and then you can also put in the Pac Choi too if you wanna make like a vegetable fried rice, and then just drizzle a little finishing oil, some sesame oil at the end. It is so, so good. Add the scrambled eggs in there. I cook my eggs first and then I add them at the very end so they don't get overcooked as you're cooking the rice. But I will include a recipe for that. So, you know, either a stir fry or fried rice, all of these great new things are delicious for that. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, here's another fun new one. Kohlrabi, the ultimate UFO vegetable. I think these look really crazy. So kohlrabis are a really fun veggie. Yours might be this color, it might be white, it might be purple. They are all really awesome. Kohlrabis are going to be peeled, so you're going to take and just peel the skin off of it and underneath, and you don't want to peel it too much, it's just got a very thin skin. This particular variety is a quick maturing, thinner skin variety. And you're gonna peel the skin off. The leaves, of course, are edible. They're gonna be very much like a collard green, so you could take and cook those and add those to anything as well. And you're just gonna peel the bulb and then you can chop it up. And it has like a crunchy, almost like a broccoli stem flavor. Again, not a ton of flavor, but this is really great grated, so you can grate it and make slaw out of it. You can take, I love it raw, just like for dipping and things like that. So that brings me to some of our other things. We have some of our turnips, and then we also have radishes, maybe. So you may be getting radishes this week. We may be waiting for a new crop. So if you did get radishes, enjoy those. Otherwise, we are waiting for a different variety to mature. So you might be getting those. So those are all great dipping things. Find yourself some good dipping things that you can enjoy as a snack. And I just love the turnips raw in dips. The kohlrabi is great with that as well, the radishes. And there's so many great like dipping sauces and dipping things to do. And that's just a fun one that you can also make up your own at home too. So, and again, remember those turnip greens are edible as well. I'll put in a recipe for the turnip greens. I do mine with bacon, and I cook the bacon and then you cook the greens in the bacon because I love bacon, and onions and things like that. So I'll put a recipe in there for for those guys as well. So lots of great flavors, lots of new things this week. Very excited about all of that. Hoping that beets are going to be ready next week. And so we just keep on adding new things as they're coming along. We've got some dill brewing in the garden. Lots of fun things coming along. So we're working hard at the farm to get the weeds down, because now that the weather's warmer, we've been kind of struggling to get those weeds down. And we are also making sure everything is well watered and cared for and everything like that. So thanks again for joining me. We'll put those recipes in the description of the video here, and I hope that inspires you this week. And as always, we welcome your suggestions, recipes, ideas, pictures. What really is awesome for us is if you share your experience with your pictures of your meals and different things like that. If you're on social media, sharing that with your friends and putting a link to us is really helpful. Also, we love when people go on and review our farm on localharvest.com, and different things like that is really helpful to us as well. So I hope that you're enjoying everything. We are busy growing, and I want y'all to have a wonderful week. Thanks so much for joining me, Natasha Lair Lewis with Big Rock Organics.